Hi, I'm here to show a little bit of the Arduino and what it can do. Um, this is just a very small part of what the Arduino can do when you attach sensors, which is what we will be doing in the balloon that we'll be sending up. We're having sensors and a logging shield, which will be um, this little guy right here, which I will attach to the Arduino board, and we put an SD card here, and it will log any sensor data, GPS, sensors, the temperature sensors that we are going to have, and I'll show you here in a minute, and a UV sensor, so we can hopefully see us exit the ozone layer. We're going to be going high enough, hopefully, that we will be exiting the ozone layer, and we'll be able to tell the UV rating with the UV sensor. And there may be some other sensors we'll put on there as well. Temperature will be obviously interesting to see inside of the payload, inside the box where the little flight computer, the Arduino, will be, and outside. Obviously, we want to see how cold it gets. We're going to be launching this in the summer, so it will be interesting to see how cold it gets up at maybe 125,000 feet. So basically, there are a lot of things about the Arduino that's kind of simple, and this temperature sensor is one of these. Right now, I have it all plugged in, and it's being powered by a simple USB connection to my computer, and I have what's called a sketch. It's a program. It's basically a software program I can upload to the Arduino. This is the temperature sensor, so it's a very simple program. It's not really complicated. For example, like the GPS logging, the GPS chip that we're going to have on the balloon. That's more complicated. This is pretty straightforward and simple. It's a good thing to kind of get to know the Arduino and what have you. But this is the temperature sensor I'm going to show you here. And right now it is hooked up. As you can see, right here is the temperature sensor. You might be able to see is that little sort of half circle right there on the board. This is called a breadboard. Helps you do a lot of prototyping. And I have the black wire is obviously ground. My red wire is my my power, and the blue wire is basically the voltage reading off of the sensor, which is essentially giving me, it's measuring resistance. I believe it's actually not resistance, it's measuring voltage, and that fluctuates according to the temperature and how all that works in there in the temperature sensor. And so again, here is the Arduino. This is the sort of the brains of the if you will, flight computer. And again, we're going to have a shield that will be several shields of GPS, what they're called shields, a GPS shield, data logging shield that will be able to log the data from the GPS and all the sensors and what have you. And that will have pins attached to it, and it'll literally stack on top of the Arduino. And this is again sort of a temporary prototype, if you will, of how we, the temperature sensor and how we get the readings of it right now. I can show you. I don't know if this is going to show up really well on the screen here, but basically every 3 seconds, the Arduino is telling basically a COM port here what the temperature is, what the voltage is. And of course we know what the temperature is according to the voltage for this particular temperature sensor. And you can see that it gets pretty precise, pretty exact temperature readings. And I can fluctuate how, the frequency of that temperature reading in the program, in the software, the sketch as it's called, with that number right there, 3,000. That's basically, I guess milliseconds. So every 3 seconds, or I can, make that every 5 minutes if I wanted. And this is the sketch that runs on the Arduino, and it uploads to this chip right here. It's called an IC, integrated circuit. Anyways, without getting into much little details and what have you of that, that's how that works, and all of that will essentially happen on our balloon. Sorry for the shaking camera. But that will happen with the balloon up in the air, and we'll get readings from all of our sensors and our GPS. It'll log it, and that's going to be the exciting part, is seeing what we have when we get back. And maybe even, hopefully, we're even looking at being able to track it all real time, and perhaps even get images real time beamed down to the ground via radio waves. But we'll see. We'll see how complicated we want to get there. But that's the exciting part. So that is the Arduino, and that's what we will be using in the balloon.